Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us again for our Trojan Bite Size. Just before we start, as always, you can ask your questions using the panel on the right-hand side. And for anyone who may be experiencing some technical issues, there's a link in the featured content tab with some troubleshooting tips that might help you if you just check there. Today we're going to cover Microsoft Outlook. So it's a tool that we use every day, day in, day out. But there's a few tips that might just help you become more efficient in it, because there's a lot of stuff that maybe we don't use every day when we're using Microsoft Outlook. So today I'm going to run through the drag and drop functions, the quick access toolbar, scheduling a meeting, rules, and the search function. So I'll send a copy of the slides and a recording of the webinar to everyone after the event. So don't worry if you miss some of it. And don't forget to ask questions if you are unsure of anything or want a bit more detail on it. So the first thing I'm going to look at is drag and drop. You might not realize it's actually a very quick way of adding calendar events or adding contacts into your Outlook directly from an email. So I'll come into Outlook here. So I can see here that I have an email from Anne. Okay, she'd like to discuss meeting up about the Microsoft Active Directory. That's fine. But I don't actually have her as a contact in my contacts here. So if I go to people, I have no one here at all. But I'd like to create her as a contact. So a quick way of doing this, if I just click on the email and drag it down to the people little symbol here on the bottom of the toolbar, just drop it in there and it automatically enters her details. So I can see her name, her email address. I can also see the information from the first email that she sent me, and I can just press save and that will create the contact. So when I come back in here now, I can see I have my contact created. You can also do the same. Maybe she wants to meet for coffee, so maybe I will create a meeting request for her. Another way of doing this is to right-click on the email, drag it down again. This time I'm going to add it to my calendar, so I'm going to drop it into the calendar option here. But when I use the right-click option, it gives me a few different options here. So I can copy this into my calendar with an appointment with text. I can create a shortcut. I can add it as an attachment. I have a few different options here. So maybe I want to add it as an attachment. So I can see I have created a meeting. My attachment is the email that she sent me. I can invite more attendees if I want. I can change the date and the time. So it's just, I'm not going to say that I don't want to create a meeting now, but it's just a quick little tool to save you time rather than having to go into new meetings or new contacts or anything. You can just drag and drop them in. The next thing we're going to look at is the quick access toolbar. So you can add buttons that you use regularly to the quick access toolbar, and it saves you looking for them. It saves you trying to find where they are on the ribbon, and it just makes the option a bit quicker. So if I come into my Outlook here, you can see my quick access toolbar is up here on the top. For some people, it might appear just under your ribbon here. Depends on how you have it set. But you can see here as a default, Outlook have the send and receive button, and they have the undo button. That, for some of you, that might be all that will appear there. But you can see this little drop down arrow here beside them. If you click on that drop down arrow, you have a list of stuff that you can quickly add. So if I wanted to add find a contact, I could just click on it and it appears up there for me. So I can see here I have my print, because I print emails a lot, not very friendly environment or friend of the environment there. I'll have to start improving on that. But There's new tasks. I have a load of different options. I have an automatic replies window here as well. If I want to remove that, I just right click on it and click remove from the quick access toolbar. You also can add more options. So if I click on the little drop down arrow again, and the option that I want isn't displayed here, I can just go to more commands, and it opens up the full list of commands that are in Outlook, and I can search for anyone I want. So say I want to add my automatic replies again, just click on it, hit the little add button, and you'll see it appears over here for me. Press OK, and it's up on my quick access toolbar again. So I don't have to go looking for it and finding where it is, remembering what functions and what buttons and stuff it is. It's just right there for me. So if you're using something that you use regularly every day, a few times a day, it's very handy to add them up here. The next thing we're going to look at is scheduling a meeting. So scheduling a meeting can be a nightmare. I think everyone has probably experienced the to-ing and fro-ing of emails. No, I'm not available that day, not that time. Can we change it to another one? It can be taking a long time to schedule a meeting. But Outlook have helped us to improve that process. So I'm going to reply to Anne. I'm going to say, yeah, let's meet for coffee. And I want to tell her what times I'm free. So if I come into my email and I go to insert, I can insert a calendar option here. So I'm going to click on calendar, and this window pops up for me. So I can say I want to share my calendar with Anne. I only want to share it for a date range though. I don't want to share it for just today. I don't want to share it forever. So I'm only going to share it for the next 7 days. You can also set specific times if you want, but I'm only going to do for 7 days. So I just want to show Anne when I'm free, which is available only. So all that she will see when she gets the calendar is free, busy, tentative, working elsewhere. She's not going to see any other detail. If I wanted her to see the actual other meetings that I have, the subjects of the other meetings and what they are, I can send the limited details, or I can send the full details if I want them to see everything. Most of the time, you're probably only going to want to see availability only. So I'm just going to check that option. One thing to remember when you're using this specific function is to set your working hours. So if you click on this little option here, it opens up this window for you, which allows you to set your working hours. So I'm going to finish at 5 o'clock, not 6 o'clock. So I'm going to change my time back here. Maybe I don't work Mondays. I like a short week, so I'm not going to work Mondays anymore. So I'm going to change that and press OK. So now it's only going to show the times I am available, and it's not going to show Mondays as being available, and it's not going to show that I'm available at 6 o'clock in the evening. Once you're happy with that, just press OK. And you'll see your windows of availability and busy are inserted into the email. So now when I send that back to Anne, she's going to be able to see when I'm free, when I'm busy, and she'll be able to reply to me with the time that suits both of us. It also comes with an attachment that she can open the calendar in her Outlook. If she wants to open it there and see it there, it'll only be available for 7 days because that's what I set it for. So you don't have to worry about it going on forever. You can put in your message, whatever you want to say. After that, up here, and just press send. So it's actually a very handy little tool, and it can save a lot of emails over and back, trying to sort out a time. The next thing I'm going to look at is creating rules in Outlook. So rules can be a great way of tidying up your inbox, decluttering some of the stuff that you get, and it can help you find stuff quicker. So I see here I have a diagnostics report from the administrator. I want to create a folder for all of those reports, and I want all those emails to go into one folder. And I don't want to have to see them in my inbox. If I need to get something out of them, I can go to that folder and find it. So if I click on the email and right click, if you have an email further down, just find that email, select it and right click on it. You'll see an option for rules. And you have a few different options here. So you can, Outlook is suggesting a rule for me, or I can create a rule myself, and I can manage rules. You'll also see the button up here on the top ribbon. It gives you the same options. So I'm going to create a new rule. This window pops up for me, and Outlook has, Outlook has auto-filled some options for me. I just need to tell them whether they're true or false. So when I get an email from Mod Administrator, yeah, that's true. And when any email comes from Mod Administrator, that's what I want. But I don't want it for all emails. I only want it for emails that are diagnostics reports. So I'm going to say search for only emails that have diagnostics report in the subject line, which you can see this email has. I don't care if it's sent to me and 10 other people or just me, so I'm going to leave that blank. But if you wanted, you could just tick that and say only emails that are sent to me. Now I want to move it to a folder. So I'm going to tick this little option here. But the folder that Outlook has picked, I don't want it to be that folder. So I'm going to create a different folder. So click select folder here. I haven't created the folder yet. I have to create a new folder. So I want to create it in my inbox. I'm going to click on inbox here and press new. Now I'm going to call it my diagnostics report. There. That's the name of it. It's going to be within my inbox. That's all I have to do. I'm just going to press OK. So you can see over here on the left-hand side that the folder has been created. I actually spelled it wrong, but we can sort that afterwards. I'm going to select that folder. And that's all I have to do for this one. Now, if you wanted, you could go into your advanced options. You could add some more filters. You could add exclusions. You can change a few bits here. When you have time, you can look through them, and when you're getting used to them, you can add more detailed stuff into it. But for now, that's all I need. So I'm just going to press OK. And this little window pops up for me. So it's asked me, do I want to run this for all emails that are already in my Outlook? So maybe these emails have been coming for years and I want to move them all into the folder. So I'm going to tick yes and press OK. So you'll notice the email is gone out of my inbox. And when I go over here to my folder, the email has been moved in here. Now I only have one email from them, so there's nothing else to bring in here. But if I had 10 or 20 emails or 100 emails, that all appear here for me. And like I said, I did spell it wrong. So if you do have mistakes like that, you can just right click on the folder name, go to rename, fix the spelling, and press enter. And your rule will automatically update. So it's quite a handy little one for keeping your inbox neat and tidy. And if you're used to getting emails, from the same person all the time and you want to keep them in a folder of their own, you can create as many folders as you want and as many rules as you want. They're simple and they're really effective. The next thing that I'm going to look at for you is the search function. So we all know that there's a search function in Outlook. It's quite useful. But what some of us don't know is you can add more functions there. So you can add specific content that you want to look for. So I'll just delete some of these here maybe. You can see you want to search emails that are specifically from someone. If there's, you know that you sent an email to someone and you want to find it, you can get that. You can look by date. There's loads of different options that you can have here. So to do this, you click into your search option at the top of your emails. You'll see this new ribbon appears on the top called Search. Within this ribbon, you'll find this little button which says More. If you click on that, you have a load of options here that you can search for. And this attachment contains is quite a handy little one. So if I click on this one, I can see it appears here for me. And what this does, it allows me to search for content that's in an attachment. So it saves me going through a load of emails and opening each individual attachment. If I know that I received an Excel sheet or I received a PDF and there's content in that, I can search for that. So for example, say I have my focused inbox. It knows that there's an attachment within this email that has that content in it. I know that myself that it's in my user options here. So if I click this, I'll see focused inboxes here. So it saves me going through a load of emails and searching for all the different attachments that are in it. I know that the word I'm looking for is in this email and I can find it in there. And like I say, you can add loads of different options here, as many as you want, as many as you're going to find useful. There's loads of options, and you can add form fields if you use forms in Outlook. I'm not going to go through that today. It's probably quite an advanced option, but for anyone that does use them, you can add those fields in as well. Another way of using the search function is with search folders. So you might notice here on the left-hand side that I have an option for search folders. You can create a new one if there's a search that you're doing regularly that you want to save you time by actually not having to go through this process every time. You want to just create a folder. You can just come over to your search folders here, right click and click new search folder. And this little window will pop up for you. Now there's some default ones here that Outlook think are useful, but you can also create a custom one. Just when you click on create a custom search folder, just click on the choose button here. And this will bring you in to create the folder name. So sometimes people might say that search folders and rules are similar. They are quite similar, but there's a few differences in them, in that your rules allow you to tidy up your inbox. It organizes stuff in a folder for you and it moves it out of your inbox and declutters it. Search folders will leave the emails where they are. They could be in any folder in your inbox or your sent folders, wherever. It'll still be in that specific folder, but the search folder will allow you to look for it in one place. So it makes it, it's not exactly the same. The result might be the same, but they're definitely work in a different way. I'll show you. So if I create, again, I'm going to go to my new search folder. I'm going to come down and say create a new custom search folder. Click choose. And I want to put all of my Azure weekly digests into a search folder so that I can easily find them. So I'm going to call this Azure Digest. Okay. Now I need to tell it the criteria to look for. This is similar. If you know how to use rules, this is quite similar. Okay, so I'm going to tell it that I want to look for the weekly digest. Just type in the weekly digest here. And in the inbox option, I'm going to say only look in the subject field for this word or these words, the weekly digest. And I'm going to say only move the emails with weekly digest that have come from Azure. So Azure no reply at Microsoft.com. Yep. Now you can go into more options and into advanced stuff as well if you want, but for now, this is all I need. So I'm just going to press OK. Press OK here and OK again. And you'll see my folder has created. And all of the weekly digests for Microsoft Azure are in this search folder. But if I come back to my inbox, the emails are still in my inbox as well. So that's really the only difference in your rules and your search folders. So I'm just going to look, I know there's a few questions coming in here. If I update my calendar with another meeting, will this also update for who I have sent the calendar to? Okay, so this is when you're using the email option to share your calendar. It won't update in the actual email, but if I come back here into my sent folder, which I can't see, here we go. All right. So it won't update here, but if you notice when I sent a new email, I don't know, will this let me do it again? It should do. Insert calendar. Yeah, I'm just going to say for today. Sorry, for the next 7 days. With this attachment, it will update here. So for the user who actually looks at the attachment, it will update in this option for them, but it won't update in the email here for them. But yeah, they can see the option if they want. Just need to tell them where to look for it, really. I hope that helps answer that question. What version of Outlook are you using? I don't see a search option on top. I am using Office 3. I'm actually using Microsoft 365. It's the 2016 version that I'm using. When I go in, is it this option here that you don't see? Or is it this little tab? I wonder, I'm not sure exactly what you're looking for. This option should definitely be in all versions of Outlook, and the tab should appear. For some people, it might appear up the top here rather than at the top of your emails. It might appear up here. I think it's been a while since I've used the 2007. I think maybe in Microsoft 2007, it could be on the panel. If you want to send me an email or maybe a screenshot or something of your version, I can try and help you find that afterwards, because without knowing what version you're using, it's hard to know, but I'm using Microsoft 2016. Also, okay, how do you create the to-do list you have created in your list of emails? The to-do list, this is over here, I'm guessing. You can create a new item under tasks, and you can just create any item you want. Email as webinar recording. And I can say whether that's in progress and I've half of it done. It's a high priority. I have my different options here, and I could just save that. That's a task. I can also, if it's a task relating to a specific email, I can also right click on it. And you have your options here as well. So maybe you want to do it as a follow-up that you'll get a reminder. You can do it, so I want to follow up today on this. You can see it's gone into red and there's a follow-up button, and that'll also go into my to-do task. But it's a handy little one, especially when you're on your phone as well, you can see it there. And how do you add signatures? Okay. Sorry, now I know we are running a little bit over here. I will keep answering questions and I'll stay here for as long as you want. But for anyone who has to go, thank you for joining us. I will send out the recording with the answers to all the questions later on today. And next week, we're looking at Microsoft Word. And if there is anything you would like us to cover, particular in Microsoft Word, do let me know during the week and I'll try and get that covered for you next week. But thank you for joining us. For anyone that can continue to stay, I'll come back to this question. So how do you add a signature? Right, so if I just come to the email, I'm going to reply to Anne again. I'm just going to hit reply. And I'm going to pop out because I prefer a big full screen. So when I am here, I'm going to say, hi Anne, whatever text, and then I want to add my signature. You'll see on your email window on the ribbon here, there is a little button called signature, and there's a drop down arrow under that. I'm going to go to signatures at the bottom here. Sorry. I'm going to go to this one. This is my signature, my work signature here. This is the one that I have created for myself. You can create them new ones here by adding a new signature. Just by clicking to signatures and add a new one. And this is the one here. If you want, their signatures can be a little bit detailed. So I will maybe do a separate video on that. There can be some issues with adding signatures if you're adding images and you're adding links and everything. So what I might do is just add a separate video to the email that I'm sending out to answer that one and show you exactly how to do it. Because as you can see, my signature has quite a lot of images. There's links on all these images. That actually took a little bit of time to set up, but I can show you how exactly I did that. So I'll send that out to you, if that's okay. And how did you create the folder to do? Oh, the folders, yeah. So how do you create the folders? I think you're looking at my little left-hand pane here. I have to do follow up on Sunday. So this is just a handy little option to try and tidy up your inbox as well, because sometimes our inbox can get so cluttered. I use this to-do option, and any email that comes in that I can't reply to within 2 or 3 minutes, it's going to take longer than that to reply, I put it into my to-do folder. Then if it's stuff that I just maybe want articles I want to read or research I want to read, and I'll do it whenever I get a chance, I put them into my someday folder. And emails that I'm waiting on someone else to get back to me before I can respond, they go into my follow-up folder. You can easily add them. Just click on the inbox because they all are within my inbox. What I mean by that is when I close this little option, you can't see it anymore. So all these folders are within my inbox. So I click on inbox, I right click on it here, and I just create a new folder. Name it whatever you want. Press enter, and the folder is created for me. They go in alphabetical order. So they'll just automatically go in alphabetical order for you. And then if I wanted to create another folder, so as you can see here, my to-do one has a few folders within that as well. I just click on my test folder, again, say new folder, and name it whatever you want to name it, press enter, and you have a folder within that again. So that's how you create all your little folders on the left-hand side there. So I think that's all the questions from today so far. If you do have any more questions, just let me know, send me an email or give me a call, and I'll try and help you and answer them as much as I can. And other than that, thank you for joining us, and we'll see you again next week. Thanks, bye. Hello again, everyone. I'm just doing a quick follow-up from this morning's webinar, just to some of the questions that I didn't get to earlier on today. So I know one of the questions that was asked was how to create an email signature. So you can quickly create a simple email signature within Outlook. I'm just going to open a new email. And on the ribbon on the top here, I click on the signatures button. And you'll see in the drop-down list here, that's the button at the bottom called signatures. So click that. And I'm going to create a new signature. So I'm going to call this Anne, and it's going to be a Microsoft signature. Press OK. And you'll see my little text box down here is blank. So this is ready for me to start typing in my information. So I'm just going to sign off. Kind regards, O'Dwyer. Now you can change the font and stuff here the same as you would in Outlook or in Word or anything. I'm just going to select it. I want to make it a bit bigger. I want to change the color of my name. I want it to stand out. I'm going to put it in red. I want it bold. Maybe want a fancier font. You have a load of different options here that you can change this. I also want to add in my company logo. So I'm going to come down to the next line. I'm going to go over here to this little button to insert a picture. If you click on this button, it'll open up your pictures on your C drive. And I'm going to select Microsoft. Over here and press Insert. So you can see my image has appeared here under my name. So I have my company logo there. I also want to put a link to my website on this image, so that if someone clicks on the image, they'll be able to go straight to the website. So I'm going to select the logo just by clicking on it, and you'll see the little grey box appear around the picture. And then I come over to this little button to insert a hyperlink. So click on there. I'm going to type in my website, which is Microsoft.com. And press OK. Another thing that I've noticed about this image is it's not quite aligned with the font. So I want to bring this back over here a bit. So I'll select the picture, and I can see there's a lot of white space around the logo. But I can't just change it or crop it there. So I'm just going to select it and press right click and click picture down here at the bottom. This opens up a new window for me here, and I can crop the picture from here. So I'm just going to try maybe 0.5. I'm going to keep it even, so I'm going to put it all the way around the picture. Once you're happy with that, let's press OK. And you can see it's made it a bit smaller. Still not quite happy with it though. So I'm just going to come crop again. Or sorry, down to picture again to crop it, and I might put it up a little bit more. We'll try this. Press OK. Yeah, that looks a bit better. I'm happy with that. So once you're happy with the design of your signature, press Save. That's the design saved. You'll notice there's little options here on the right-hand side. So you can decide where the signature is going to go. Now, usually you won't have to worry about this, but because I have a few different emails in my Outlook, I just need to change the account. So I'm going to put it on my demo account here. And I'm going to put this signature for all new messages that I create. So I'm going to select the drop-down and select the signature and Microsoft. I also want to put this on all my replies as well. So I'm going to select the drop-down, select the same one again, and then press OK. So if I close my emails now, press a new one, you see my signature has appeared at the bottom of my email. And if I hit reply here, my signature is on it as well. Okay. Now, one thing you might notice, this is quite a simple signature. If you look at my own Trojan signature, there's a bit more detail in this. To try and design this type of signature within Outlook itself would be very difficult. So the way I do it is create the design within Word, and then I copy and paste it into Outlook. So I'm just going to open a new Word document here. And I'm going to insert a table. So I want 2 columns and 2 rows. Okay, and my first one I'm going to say Over here, I want to add my telephone number, whatever that might be. And down here, I want to put my logo again. So I just come up to insert, go to picture. I'm going to insert my Microsoft one again. I'm going to crop this one a bit because it's a little bit big, but too much white gaps there. So I'm going to just click on crop and bring that in. I don't want all this white space around it. That looks a bit better. You can tidy them up a bit more as well and sort out the alignment on them. But one thing that I still have left to do is that I don't want all of these black lines to appear in my email. So I'm going to click on the little box here on the top left corner to select my whole table, which will make my table tools appear on the top ribbon here. Come to design. I'm going to change the pen color to white because I don't want them to be seen. And I'm going to select my borders and say all borders. So you can no longer see the borders here. Again, I'm going to select the little box here on the top left corner, and I'm going to copy that. I come back into Outlook at this stage. I'm going to come back to signatures. Click on signature again. I'm going to create another new one. This one I'm going to call long signature. Typing's gone bad today. And press OK. So I'm going to come down into my text box here, and I'm going to paste in the signature. And you can see that it has held the formatting from my Word document. So I'm going to press save. I'm going to come back up here again. Usually you wouldn't have to do this, but just because I have a few different email accounts in my Outlook, I need to select the email account that I want this signature for. And I want this signature to appear on all new messages. So I'm going to go to my drop-down list, and I'm going to select the long signature that I've just created. But I'm going to leave the short signature for my replies and my forwards. So you can have two different signatures if you like. Then press OK. I'm going to close this one down. Come up here. Create a new email. And you can see my signature has appeared here. And then if I go back and hit reply, you can see that my short signature is appearing on my replies. Okay. If you have any more questions on that, just drop me an email. And if you're struggling with it, and I'll try and help you out. Another question that I didn't get to earlier when we were talking about the different folders that you can create within your inbox or within your sent items or wherever you want to create them, was how to actually move those emails into it. So that probably would have been helpful to show you earlier on. But you can just drag your emails into the folder that you want them to be in. Just drag and drop. So you just click on the email anywhere, hover over the name of the folder, you can see the blue line appearing, and drop it in there. And then when you come in here, your emails are all there. If there's a folder that you always put the same email into, you can go back and look at the rules options from earlier on and create a rule to automatically put those emails in there. You can also add little pop-up windows and noises to let you know that emails have gone into that folder if you want. I didn't go into that earlier. It's probably a bit more advanced, but that option is there. And if you'd like me to go through it, just let me know. I can always do a video on it and send it out to everyone. That's no problem. Another question that I got earlier was about the search function. They were saying they couldn't find it. I think maybe I think I might have misunderstood the question from earlier. I thought this was the box that you couldn't find, but I think it was actually the little search tools that appears on the ribbon up here that you couldn't find. And you'll notice that's not there usually. So when I click on anywhere else, that option's not there for me. But once I click into the actual search box that appears here, the search tools appears on my ribbon. And this little more button is what I'm looking for to add items into the search for myself, or just X them if you don't want them. Once I click anywhere else on the screen, you'll notice that disappears. So you have to actually click into that little box to find it. Another thing that came up was about follow-ups. So I know we briefly discussed that you could flag an email to be followed up. And then you can see it goes red and there's a little flag up here showing that it is. And so that goes into your little to-do list that appears here. But there's also another way to find all those emails that are flagged for follow-up. If you come back down to your search folders here, right-click on your search folder to create a new folder. The little pop-up window should appear for you. And you can see here the second option that Microsoft is suggesting is mail flagged for follow-up. So if you select that one and press OK, you can see a folder appears down here in my search folders called for follow-up. And now any email that I add a follow-up to will appear in here. So I can select a load of these for various different follow-ups. And they'll all appear in this search folder for me. So it's another way of finding them. I think that was all the questions that we didn't get to earlier on. But if you do have any more questions or anything that you'd like me to look at there, or anything that you're struggling with, just give me a shout and I'll try to help you out. Other than that, I will see you next week for Microsoft Word. And once again, if there is anything that you'd like me to cover off in that session, just let me know during the week and I'll try and get that fitted into the session for you. So thanks very much and I'll talk to you soon.